Good evening. It is 6:05, 22nd of June. I'd like to welcome everybody to our regular school board meeting for the Plainview ISD Board of Trustees. This evening, we have reached a quorum. I've asked Ms. Rivera to lead us in the invocation and Ms. De La Garza into the pledge.
Please bow your head with me as we pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you tonight to ask you to be with us as we make decisions for the district. Bless each and every family represented here tonight. And Father God, be with our children and protect them in Jesus' name. Amen.
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 If you'll please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Pledge allegiance, honor the Texas flag. Pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, ladies. At this time on your agenda, we will jump to item number 5.
We have a discussion and report regarding Child Protective Services findings.
No, I'm sorry. No, there's going to be the recognitions.
Oh, yes. We'll be calling Coach Haddock and Coach Alfaro to announce our recognitions of outstanding achievement.
How's everybody doing tonight? Coach Alfaro couldn't be here, and our girl PHS, Mrs. PHS couldn't be here as well. Tonight it was Celeste Figueroa. I do have the honor of presenting the Mr. PHS. So every year, one of our senior athletes has to meet a criteria of playing multiple sports. 3 or more sports is the starting criteria for Mr. and Mrs. PHS. Following that, it goes down to moral character, academics, and just the embodiment of what it means to be a PISD athlete. This year, a young man that we've, y'all seen him a lot up here the past couple of years. Unfortunately, this will be his last time up here, and I'll have you come on, Karomo. And it's an honor for me to speak about him one more time. I've got to do it at a couple board meetings and some other places, but I can't say enough about Karomo Collins, and there's nobody who embodies what PISD is about more. We can talk about his football accolades. As you know, he's the all-time leading receiver, season, in-game, career-wise for PHS. He's a 2-time first-team unanimous wide receiver, 2-time first-team all-district basketball player, regional qualifier in track, area qualifier in track. The list of sports accolades goes on and on and on, and we can talk about that. But what I want to talk about more is the character of Karomo. And those of you who know Karomo, he was an all-state football, academic all-state football, academic all-state basketball, academic all-state track. Finished top 10% in his class. So his GPA is very good. He's going on to represent PISD at the next level playing football as well next year. And so our Mr. PHS this year is Karomo Collins.
I found a picture with Mr. Collins.
Okay. Congratulations to both Mr. and Mrs. PHS. This time we're gonna go into a report. Just read the title and then I got a statement I'm gonna read.
We have a discussion regarding the Child Protective Services findings, and Ann Manning will come up and tell us more about that, but I think Mr. President has a word about that.
Yes, I have a statement I want to read prior to Ms. Manning, which is our attorney for the board. We want to share the findings of the CPS investigation this evening, and I just want to let everybody know that we have reserved comments. When I say we, I'm referring to the board, to the administration, of these findings, the attacks that have been made against the campus, personnel, the district administration, and the board, because we're held at a higher standard of conduct regarding to public comments. So it has been more comfortable to state our positions rather than be printed, broadcasts, and social media that accusing of us committing wrongdoings, such as hiding information and taking matters into not serious, and even encouraging misconduct upon students. The legal standard that we must follow requires to hold up our personal opinions. Again, we, when I say we, is the board, and to wait for the findings of facts. And that's what it's all about, findings of facts. Once we find the findings of facts, we can share it with y'all, which is going to happen tonight, with the appropriate audience. We are now at this point of finding the facts, and it's by a impartial third party, which has been shared. The CPS report has been reviewed by multiple levels in the oversight of the Family Protective Services and in conjunction with the FBI. So we regret the occurrence which has happened in this district, and we are committed to make the adjustments so this would not happen again or in the future. So with that, I'm going to ask our attorney, Ms. Ann Manning. First of all, thank you for being here this evening and share with us the CPS findings.
Good evening. Can you all hear me? I know we have needed transparency, and that's what I hope to be able to help you with tonight. I want to go through what we did when we get to the final where we have a CPS report. When we knew of an incident, I was immediately contacted by Dr. Sanchez. We knew to report to CPS and to the police, and that's what we did. CPS, once contacted, I instructed Dr. Sanchez to ask CPS what we could say, and they said nothing. We said, what about to the parents? We had previously let them know that there had been an incident but did not go into details. And they forbade us to do so, to say anything. With that, CPS had their investigation, and we were at a standstill. We were not allowed to investigate at that time. Police were investigating. As you all know, there was an iPad, and initially when Dr. Sanchez called me, there had been two people who had seen a small portion of that iPad, what was on the iPad, and Dr. Sanchez had not seen that. I immediately instructed him to get that to the police, and no one was to look at it. As a result, as we fast forward while CPS conducts their investigation, the police conduct their investigation, FBI comes in, FBI then takes the iPad, and we were still instructed not to say anything by CPS or by the FBI. FBI has completed their investigation, and CPS has done as well. The CPS report was determined as to what was the teacher's responsibility, and they found no negligent supervision for any of the children and no sexual abuse. With that, the FBI turned the iPad back over to the district and instructed us to keep it safe, and it was placed with the police in the locked evidence room. Contact had been made all during this time as well with the district attorney. And at that time, the district attorney instructed Dr. Sanchez to keep the iPad, and no one is to look at it until he tells us they can, because he might use that as evidence if he needs that in any type of litigation for them. I know this has been tremendously difficult for all of you, for all of the administration dealing with it, Dr. Sanchez in particular. All I can tell you is this: we strove in every single way to follow the law. We wanted to say things, we wanted to console, we wanted to help, but we were prevented from doing so as a matter of law. I commend your administration. I commend you as a board for standing behind your administration in this time. And I just regret that we had rumors that were rumors, and they were wrong. But maybe we can get some peace about us and some closure for this event.
Thank you, Ms. Manning. At this time, we are going to go into closed session to speak with our attorney. Texas Code, Government Code Section 551.001 allows us to do this, to meet with our attorney. So we'll do it at this time. It is 6:17. Okay, the time is 7:50. We have come back from executive session with our consultation with our attorney. This time we are going to jump into item number 6 on our agenda, which is citizen comments. My understanding, there is 6.
Yes, sir.
Okay, according to the policy, we state 5 or more will be 1 minute. Again, I want to remind everyone, not mention if you're going to speak upon situation with students, do not mention no name of students, no word language as well. So we will have Vice President mention the names and our secretary to keep the time.
Are you ready, Mr.? Are you ready with the time? Okay. Samuel Gonzalez of Lubbock, Texas.
Thank you for having me here tonight. Number one, before you start timing me, what exactly do you want me to say beforehand? And when does my timing start?
Your time has started, sir. Mention your name and address and then your issue.
Okay, thank you. My name is Samuel Gonzalez. I am the Texas State District 1 Director for LULAC. I'm out of Lubbock. I've got about 60 counties that I'm over. I help individuals with discrimination issues. We've got a young lady that there's a problem, and right is right, wrong is wrong, and we just want justice and the right thing to be done and completed. I don't think I need to say too much more. You know what I'm talking about. And there needs to be some consequences on some of the issues that happen, and you know, more than just a slap in the hand is what's really needed. I say it all with that.
Thank you, sir.
Next, we have Annalisa Carrillo from Killeen, Texas.
Good evening, School Board. I am Ana Luisa Carrillo Tapia. I am the District Director out of Central Texas, next to Fort Cavazos. I bring you a message from our State Director and our State of Texas LULAC, which is League of United Latin American Citizens, established in 1900s. Now we're in 20,000s. So we're here to say that what has happened to the 6-year-old was not an event such as what the attorney had said. This is not an event. This is a traumatic experience for the 6-year-old. We stand in solidarity with the family that wants justice, that wants accountability on every level, on every level. We want the little girl's age not to be a factor. She has been a victim of sexual assault, sexual abuse. We're asking for accountability, and we're also asking you as a school board, what is your level of responsibility? What is your plan to fix it and make sure it doesn't happen again? And 34 seconds is a long time because that child will carry it.
Your time is up, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Next, we have Esther Zapata from Plainview.
Oh, my God. I'm so sorry.
Notified us because they were told by CPS specifically.
Are we ready for time?
Oh, I'm sorry. I had already started.
Okay, can you mention your name, ma'am, and address
We just
before
wanted
starting?
to-
Ms. Cepeda,
Esther Cepeda, 1601 North Date.
okay. No. You signed up to speak, not an individual on the phone, so.
A little bit of what it said. We talked to the investigator. The investigator told us that he did not tell the school to keep it from us. And this is what this recording is. We have proof. If you lied about this, then what else have y'all lied about? What is accountability? My granddaughter case has not been resolved. This time, my granddaughter is traumatized by the incident that happened on South Elementary in April 1923. CPS Texas investigator that attended to the investigation stated mutual consent between two minors while under the case. Teachers that took an oath to protect the children is clearly a breach of contract. School board, you also took an oath to protect the children, to cultivate and maintain a safe learning environment. School board, you also failed this community. We are looking up to you. How will you prevent this from ever happening again?
Your time is up, ma'am.
Thank you.
Next, we have Amber Coleman, 800 Amarillo, here in Plainview.
Well, then if she has to leave, then doesn't that give the rest?
Who's the next on there, ma'am?
Jacob Rihanna.
So shouldn't he have 3 minutes? Because it's
Still 5.
Jacob here?
Jacob here.
No.
5.
Mention your name, sir, and your address.
My name is Jacob Brano, 209 East 4th Street. I don't respect anyone who thinks it's okay for little girls to be touched on without consent. I represent protection for the kids and healing for this community because they're tearing up and it's tearing the community apart. We need to stand strong together and be the voice for those who can't and won't speak up. There are people who are losing sleep because nothing has been done, and living with fear and thinking this is going to happen again. Six-year-olds cannot consent to this. And my name's Little J with J Entertainment, and we are the voices of the strongest. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Leah Garcia from here in Plainview.
Can you confirm if I get 1 minute or 3 minutes?
You will get 1 minute, ma'am.
Why is that? Because that's not what you said.
You'll get 1 minute, ma'am. You mention your name and your address, please.
You said 5 or less.
Ma'am, I'm gonna just tell you one more time. If not, Chief De La Garza will escort you.
Okay, but I don't understand.
Chief,
You're saying one thing.
Here, so we're gonna need.
one moment, Ms. Garcia. I'm sorry.
Leah,
If it's 5 or less. Wait, and now it's 5 or less. She should have to at least give her, the remaining people, their 3 minutes that they deserve.
Is there not an officer? It has to be the chief? And also another thing, y'all have.
Okay, Ms. Garcia, at this time, you can start.
I didn't get a report.
You
You haven't
can mention-
what happened. I never got a report. I haven't
Okay.
gotten a report for a while there, for a long time. I've checked my mail every single day. Investigator has not given me a report of anything that has happened.
Leah Garcia, 607 Kirchwood.
Include all.
yes, sir.
All righty, thank you very much. At this time, we will move on to. Thank you. At this time, we will continue to, I believe it's item number 3.
Yes, sir. We'll have a discussion and public input for applying for the SF federal grant funding. We don't have any speakers on that. So, Ms. Sanchez or Doris Chapa? Ms. Sanchez is coming forward. Thank you.
You should have a copy of our notice, our public notice to apply for funding in order to help provide our students the support that they need. We have a total of 5 federal funds that we are attempting to request that the federal government provide us. We have Title I, which is provided for low-income families to provide a high-quality education. And on the award amount, you'll see that it's listed there. That's what the federal government has decided that we can be allocated in the event that we choose to apply for this grant. We do have a Title I Part C, and that's for our migrant students. Every year, we go out and we recruit our migrant students. We work with those students in order to help them get into universities. We take them on college visits. We hire motivational speakers to come and speak to them, and we also hire tutors. So the award amount there that the federal government is proposing is listed there. Title II is for our professional development. All of the PD that we attend, the board has provided a list, and that has to be approved by the board. That's by the state of Texas. We can pay for supplies for PD. So if we have, for instance, literacy training and the teachers are needing supplies, we can use money allocated out of that grant in order to help provide them supplies so that they can have what they need to take into the classrooms. We also pay for teachers to attend summer PD and provide them with curriculum training with that particular grant. That's Title II, and the amount allocated is listed there. Title III is for our English learners. And as you can recall, our English learners, this year, this is the fourth year that we've had 100% of our EBs graduate this year. We help them apply for TASFA. We help them apply for FAFSA. We help provide tutors with this particular funding. It's also used for immigrant children. So any of our students that are attaining English proficiency are eligible to be covered under this grant. This is strictly for our EB students. The money that we're attempting to apply for is listed there. We also help provide supplies, and we provide PD for our teachers there. Title IV is the rural grant, but it does come with particular stipulations. With that particular grant, you do have to spend 20% of that particular grant, which would be around $27,000, would have to be spent on a well-rounded education. So that could be spent on band, choir, theater, arts, in order to help the students that are also attending those programs. 20% also has to be allocated for safe and healthy schools. That can be provided for counselors or efforts to help with our police department. 20% has to be there. That's around $27,000. It can be used on technology. However, the purchase of Chromebooks, that's considered infrastructure. So what the grant states there is only 15% of those funds can be used to purchase like Chromebooks, which would be around $13,000 out of that fund. Let me see. And then also it can be used to provide training for technology. So if we're learning how to use on Data Suite, if we're learning to use Eduphoria, if we have different curriculum that has different programs, for instance, the typing.com, if we need training in that, then this particular fund can be used in order to help provide that training. Now, Title IV is unique in that you can also use some part of that fund to help fund resources in Title III. You can use if you have something that you want to purchase through Title I. So that fund is a little different, and it's only given to rural communities.
Thank you, Ms. Sanchez.
There are no questions?
Any questions, board, into this report?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, business.
Okay. Now we're gonna move on to our business items.
Okay, first, we are going to consider and approve the purchase of carpet tile installation at PHS Band Hall with a contract over $50,000 for the damaged band hall flood back in December of '22. And as Atmos Energy has requested the district, or when the Atmos Energy requested the district lower the heat and the fire suppression system caused the major flood. This request will be an insurance claim that Atmos will be reimbursing the district for. It's recommended to award the contract for labor and material to install carpet, tile, commercial flooring out of Lubbock. And I guess if we have
Yes.
questions, Ms.
Yes.
Dunlap can answer, or Dr. Sanchez?
Yes, ma'am. It's LVR Commercial Flooring out of Lubbock, Texas, who will be providing the repairs, and it is at $98,055. And again, this is reimbursable by Atmos Energy. And we need your approval as it is an item over 50,000. However, it does not come out of district funds permanently. Now, we will allocate district funds initially, and then once everything is installed, the work's completed, we're invoiced, we'll pay it, and then we'll forward it to Atmos. Atmos then will return the money to the district on this item. And Mr. Marin can speak to the timeline should the board approve this item.
Good evening. This, the LVR will start as soon as the PO is approved with the board's approval. And basically what we've got is they'll be actually done in phase two. First phase will be the repair of the sheetrock, moving of some lockers in that by a different company, which will also be up for board approval. And then after all that's done, painting and floating of the walls, then after that, we'll have the install of the carpet. And we're going to do those in phases also, which will be the big band hall or the big band area, and then the smaller practice rooms will be done after that. So I may have that backwards.
Is that right?
Okay, yes, that's correct.
Board, any question, comments?
So is that something that they're thinking will be done by this fall, or we're not sure?
Hopefully, we're looking at no later than the middle of September, but that just depends on how fast the sheetrock the walls get done. We're looking at, I guess I'll just jump ahead, 10 weeks for the walls to be done. And then immediately after that, then LVR will come in and start ripping out carpet and installing that.
Do we have a place for the band to meet while they're doing this?
We'll have to find somewhere if it's not ready. The good thing is during this time of the year, it is marching season, so they spend a lot of time on the field, so they can work through some of their fundamentals, and they can use the smaller rooms while the larger rooms being done for sectional practice, flutes, brass, woodwinds, and whatnot. So they're able to utilize some of the smaller spaces while the larger space is being done. But we are fortunate that it's marching season since the field is available behind the band hall for their use.
So once this is approved, the LVR will go out and order the carpet. The good thing is the carpet that we have asked for is in stock, and it will be 10 days by the time they get it. So it should be here and ready to be installed by the time the walls get finished, floated, painted, and then they'll start immediately after that. So they said as soon as they start getting their floor pulled out, it should be going pretty quick. So.
More questions, comments, board?
On behalf of the administration, I'd like to recommend the item for y'all's consideration and approval.
Board, at this time, I entertain a motion for item number 1 under the business items.
I move to approve the purchase of carpet tile installation at PHS Band Hall.
Ms. Bass, do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion passes 7-0.
Okay, next is to consider and approve the award the contract to install the roof at the girls' field house with a contract over 50,000. And I guess Dr. Sanchez or
Yes, ma'am. With the storms as well as the heat, the combination has caused some issues with the roof at the girls' field house, and it's the one right on the corner. This will be to install a new R panel. roof system, which would be the whole thing, metal trim, accessories, to move the HVAC, disconnect it, reconnect it. It is $64,350 out of district budget. And we anticipate, even with this expenditure coming out of district budget, a balanced budget for the conclusion of the 22-23 school year. So this would be within budget. It wouldn't be a fund balance item. We project this to be within budget. And it is a necessity. We can't have a leaky roof in the girls' field house.
Comments, questions, board?
All right, well, on behalf of the administration, I'll make a recommendation for y'all's consideration and approval for item 2.
Board, at this time, I entertain a motion for under number 2 under business items.
Mr. President, I'll move forward with the approval of the contract to install a new R-panel roof system for the Girls Fields House.
Thank you, Mr. Salazar. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
I got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. 7-0. Thank you.
Okay. Next, consider and approve the award the contract to paint the interiors at North and Central and the exterior at South Elementary for a contract over $50,000.
Yes, ma'am. Central Elementary, we're looking at the corridors and the rails, and the price is $27,395. North Elementary corridors and rails are $27,500. And when the buildings were initially designed, the paint comes up to about 4 feet, and then there's a rail. Above the 4 feet, the walls are white. And with all of the little people, about 600, they go in and out and lean up against the wall, and they go out and play, and then they put their hands on the wall. We'd like to take it up to about 6 feet. We would also like to change the paint to a Sherman-Williams paint, which is a more durable paint. And it's the same paint that we have at the junior high, and that paint has worn very well at the junior high. One of the comments the custodians have made is if you spray the current paint too much, you take the paint off the wall. So they'd like a more durable paint. And that would be for Central and North. South, learning from Central and North, already is 6 feet high. So that was already part of the construction. What we're looking at painting at South for $25,425 is the blue on the La Mesa side of the building is a light blue or baby blue. The blue that's on the front of the building is the blue that's on all our other buildings, which is navy blue, which is in the school song, that's bulldog blue. And so this would be to tie in the baby blue on the back side of La Mesa into the navy blue on the front side. So that way the blue is the same color blue all the way through. We'll also power wash the blue membrane because it looks kind of reddish right now, but it is navy blue on the La Mesa side of the building. So everything will tie together with the right color blue. And what we're recommending is this is CertaPro, and CertaPro has done the work at PHS, intermediate, and the junior high to tie in all the colors. This also is out of the district budget, and again, this doesn't take us into fund balance. We anticipate, we are working through the final numbers on it, but we anticipate that this will all be within budget.
Board, questions, comments pertaining to this item?
Central Pro, they're out of Lubbock, right? So they'll be ready to roll. We pass this, they'll be on time. They're looking at a good timeline here.
Yes, sir. Manuel has a timeline on that as well, and so I asked that he share that.
Pro in the past has been used for the junior high, and they had just because of their past experience of getting things done before school starts. When we had our Christmas break, that's when they painted the entire junior high, the gym, that including the gym and all of that. So as soon as we get this approved, they'll be out. James will be out with a big crew to start these 3 campuses right away and get that done before school starts.
And then will that be the reinstallation of the trim
Yes, ma'am.
back? Will that be new trim or will they use the same?
I think we decided not to put that up, didn't we?
Right, we didn't.
Yes.
So will it kind of be a finished edge there?
It'll be a finished
Yes.
edge. Yes.
Okay.
The goal of Park Hill was to tie the front end with the back. So the way it looks in the front, you'll see in the back as well. So it should all tie in. That was part of the architectural design.
And all of these will be 6 foot.
Yes, yes, sir.
All right. Questions, comments, board pertaining to this item?
Okay.
Item number 3.
All right, on behalf of the administration, like to make a recommendation for your consideration and approval of item 3.
Board, I entertain a motion right now for item number 3 and a second.
I so move we approve to award the contract to paint interiors at North and Central and exteriors at South, contract over 50,000.
Thank you, Ms. Rivera. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. 7-0. Thank you.
Next, we have consideration approval for the purchase of labor and material to polish the concrete at Plainview Junior High at Education Center and for a contract over 50,000.
Mr. Yes, ma'am. We removed the stage from Plainview Junior High to provide more cafeteria space, and we've painted the back side of it. We're painting the entire cafeteria. It'll be a refresh at some point. But the biggest piece that we have right now is under the stage, it was concrete. And so that the transition is a good transition, the junior high cafeteria will look like the cafeteria at North and Central, which is a polished concrete floor. We'd like to remove the tile in the cafeteria and polish that at Plainview Junior High, so that way the entire cafeteria ties in. The other is the entrance area at the EC. The tile is broken and in many places missing, and the only way to correct that, the tile, of course, the age of the facility you can't get it anymore, so it makes more sense to just remove the tile and then not have to fuss with the tile.
Any more questions, comments, board?
Can we get an update on all of the concrete polishing going on, like at North still needed theirs and Central?
We'll begin work on the corridors in July. So they'll begin going through the corridors at North, going through the corridors at Central. And we hope that will, we're not going to get into the classrooms. We have to move everything out to get into there, but we will get the corridors. And we anticipate we'll have a nice polish finish before school starts there. But we will manage the corridors on those 2 sites. Entryway, corridor hallways, large spaces.
More comments, questions? Okay. So then at this time, I'll entertain a motion for business item number 4 and a second.
Mr. President, I'll move a motion to approve purchase of the labor and installation material polished concrete for Plainview Junior High and the EC. Contract over $50,000.
Thank you, Mr. Salazar. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries 7-0.
Next, consideration approval to award the contract to install the batting cage at the softball complex over 50,000.
This item is 80,100, and it is off of buy board. It is not using Hellas. It is using Master Turf products out of Houston, Texas. The only fluctuation we anticipate would be the cost due to the price of steel. However, what this would provide would be 2 batting cages at the softball field under, that would allow the girls to have the same access to do batting cages like we have at the baseball field, where we have 2 batting cages. And again, this would be out of our budget, and we feel we can manage this within the budget, but this is to ensure equity between softball and baseball and access to practice facilities. In terms of timeline, probably Manuel and Becca can speak to timeline.
As soon as this is approved, the vendor, Master Turf, will order the items needed, the metal that for this. He said it would be probably about no more than 20 days to get that in, and then he's going to immediately start after that. So he said he'd probably be out there maybe a good 2 weeks and then get that done. So he's ready to work on this right now.
Okay.
He'll be ready for practice coming this school year.
All right, on behalf of the administration, I'd like to recommend for your consideration and approval, item 5.
Okay, board, at this time, I entertain a motion for business item number 5.
I so move we approve to award contract to install batting cage at softball complex, contract over 50,000.
Thank you, Ms. Rivera. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
You got a motion second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. 7-0. Okay, good, man.
If you
Okay.
build it, they will come.
Yes.
Next, back to the flooding of the band hall, consideration approval of the band hall facility. This is for what you had talked about earlier, for the lockers and those
ma'am.
kinds of things.
Yes, ma'am.
And that is $276,475. Again, we would put the money up front and then Atmos would reimburse us. But this does go together. So we, again, on behalf of the administration, I'd like to recommend item 6 for your consideration and approval so we can get the band students back in business.
All right, board, any questions, comments? Not hearing none, I'll entertain a motion for item number 6.
I move we approve the rehab of the band facility over 50,000.
Okay, over 50,000.
Over 50,000.
All righty. Got a motion, got I need a second.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. All right, motion passed 7-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And the last item we have is the consent agenda.
Okay. Any questions on the consent agenda, board? Sanchez, you gonna add anything to this?
No, sir, just make a recommendation on behalf of the administration for y'all to approve the consent agenda. And then at the end, under other items, I do want to recognize the hire of our new boys basketball coach.
Any questions, comments, board pertaining to consistent agenda? Entertain a motion on the business item on the consistent agenda.
Mr. President, so move.
Thank you. Got on the second.
I'll second.
Got a motion is second into item, business items, consistent agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. 7-0. Thank you.
Under other items information, I just wanted to highlight the hire of Coach Ogle. He comes to us with over 480 career wins, and we look forward to him reaching 500 wins with the men's Bulldog basketball team this season. He's already hit the ground running. He's met with the boys and their parents. We also held a meet and greet here, and I appreciate the board members that were able to make it and come and meet him. For a basketball coach, he's not very tall, but we hear he's very good. And so we welcome him into our community. He and his wife are looking for a place here in Plainview to reside. And so we'll be happy to have him here in Plainview. And with that, that concludes the business of the district for this evening.
Thank you. Meeting adjourned.